For over a year now, Clash Royale's event tab has been completely unusable. Every single day I open the game, see this grayed out button, and all it says is that it's under construction. Mind you, since this tab has been disabled, we've gotten heroes, level 16, and a bunch of other new stuff. So what exactly is going on? As you might already know, this tab used to be the place where you could watch TV Royale. But about 3 months after the global launch of Clash Royale, this would become the place to play tournaments. Now, these tournaments could be hosted for a number of gems, starting at 500 gems all the way up to 250,000 gems, which is equal to about $1,800, which is just crazy. But it did give us the biggest chest we've ever seen in Clash Royale. Anyway, a few months after that, this tab would no longer be reserved for just tournaments. Now you would be able to play classic challenges for 10 gems and grand challenges for 100. And we've also seen the occasional special challenge here, stuff like the draft challenge or the infinite elixir challenge. And this tab even got a complete overhaul about 2 years ago with the whole season tokens thing. And throughout the years, that's kind of the way this tab has been working. A tab with, well, events. But in June of 2025, Supercell decided that this tab needed to be disabled, and all the modes and events that were on there would get moved to the home screen. And we were confused, but also a little excited because they disabled it for a reason, right? Something big had to be coming. And so we waited a month. And nothing. So we waited another month. Nothing again. And the amount of times a new update dropped with no announcements towards the events tab whatsoever just made me forget about the tab as a whole. Up until like right now, because well, I'm making a video about it. But it's been over a year and we've still heard nothing. Not even a single teaser. If anything, it kind of makes sense to make that tab the Chaos game mode, but maybe that's just me. Now, there's a few reasons I actually started to think about this, and that kind of bothered me with it. But before I tell you those reasons, please consider subscribing. I want to try and hit 10k subscribers before the end of the year, and with your help, I'm sure we can. Thank you. First off, I just think it's visually cluttering. On the home screen, it's way too much, and I just despise the UI. Then, I also tend to miss out on challenges a lot. With the old events tab, if there was a new event live, that tab would start glowing the same way the shop does when there's a new offer, which kind of instantly told me, hey, something new is here. But right now, I genuinely tend to miss them because for me, it's just not visually distinct enough from all the other modes. And when I do register them, it's not really worth it because like every win gives you 500 gold and some silly emote at the end. Seriously, what the fuck do you take me for? Also, this temporary removal also meant we didn't have royal tournaments for over half a year. But at least that has since been fixed and I think we have them again. But the craziest thing to me is they disabled this tab around the time that Jinxie made this game like really popular. Many new players started playing for the first time, and if somehow they're still playing, they probably have no idea what that tab even is supposed to do. So my question is, why disable this tab so long before you actually make the change? Again, as of recording this, it's been 13 months since they've disabled it. And by doing this, Supercell kind of shot themselves in the foot, because after 13 months, it's going to be very difficult to meet our expectations. We're all expecting something big, and even if it ends up being a decently sized update, it's hard to meet the expectation that we've been building up for 13 months. So let's talk about the possibilities of what will happen with this tab. Now, before I start throwing random ideas around, whatever actually ends up on here needs to justify one thing, and that's one entire tab on the menu. And that tab is valuable real estate. Supercell is not going to dedicate one of their biggest buttons to some seasonal event or some silly challenge. At least I hope they don't. Whatever this is going to be has to be something that players interact with constantly. Right now, each tab holds a significant amount of value. Of course, there's the main tab. Here, your trophies are displayed, your profile, and of course, you have the battle button. Then there's the collection tab, where you find all your cards, your magic items, emotes, and you build your deck here. Then there's of course the clan, which even if you don't play Clan War, is interacted a lot with simply because you want to request cards. And then there's of course the shop. Now, I kind of hope you don't interact with this too much, but you're very likely to get your daily free reward and whatever else the store might have to offer. So, what is deserving of an entire tab? Well, I've got a few things in mind that actually make a lot of sense. The first thing being merge tactics. I know this is boring and will definitely disappoint a lot of people, including me, and this kind of goes against me saying people have to interact with it a lot, but I always kind of thought that merge tactics would end up here anyway, so it even struck me as a surprise when originally it didn't. I honestly just think merge tactics should be a game on its own, But at that point, might as well just bring back Clash Mini. But the thing I'm hoping for, and actually has a strong chance of happening, is PvE. PvE is something that we've been very vocal about for I don't even know how long. And especially last year when we saw a good amount of content creators hop on the Chinese servers just to play those game modes, we saw the views and hype it generated. People want this, and people want it bad. And the reason I think this actually has a good chance at happening is because the Chaos game mode that we ended up getting earlier this year is actually a game mode that's very, very similar to one of the game modes in the Chinese servers. Anyway, as for PvE, it would be really cool to be able to fend off waves of enemies and see how far you can get. Especially those boss fights with extremely overleveled cards would be absolutely sick. It's something that they clearly have the code for, as it's already implemented on the Chinese servers, and we've expressed how much we want it, so I don't really see how this could go wrong. Though, let's think outside of these Chinese servers. Maybe they could do a cool kind of training mode. And I'm not talking like a silly training camp, I'm talking about something that both new and experienced players can actually play and have fun doing. Imagine this. They give you a certain situation to deal with, and then they give you a certain amount of elixir. Kind of like those YouTube shorts that you might have seen.
This is not gonna work. All out. Right this fucking
Then you need to defeat the push with that amount of elixir to clear the level. These levels, or challenges, however you would want to call them, could have different difficulties. They could start very, very easy at like, defend this golem barrel using only a log, or defend this hog rider using a cannon. These easy levels can help newer players understand the game better, but we could also get some way more difficult levels or challenges, like activate the king tower against a magic archer using only skeletons and a spirit. Or defend a spirit with a spirit while keeping your spirit alive. Yeah, this is actually possible, but it's a very hard timing.
Two keys to this technique. First, placing that fire spirit 2 in and 1 up from the inside of your princess tower's inside corner. But secondly, releasing the drop right as the opposing fire spirit hits that 3 tile mark in from the bridge. You gotta hit that exact timing and you'll get a fire spirit going in the opposite direction for a little bit of extra pressure.
And each of these levels could get some rewards, and you can upgrade a badge to show how many levels you've completed. Regardless of what happens, I hope we get something before 2027, because I did say I'd go bald if they didn't change anything. If this tab is going to remain under maintenance for all of 2026, I will literally go bald. Don't quote me on that though. They've also announced that they won't be adding any more new levels, so I'm not entirely sure how they'll monetize the game, so maybe a PvE game mode might be the way to go. Maybe the PvE game mode will be a game mode that you can play with a friend, or maybe even multiple friends, and in that case I think skins have a good chance of becoming a new monetization model. And whatever you think about skins, it won't be that bad because at least it's not pay to win. I hope. If they somehow, if they know how to make skins pay to win, I'm gonna lose my mind. Now, I'm very curious to see what you guys think what will happen with this tab. So please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing as well. I'm trying to hit 10K before the end of the year. So yeah, please help. Oh, and YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so you should go see if they're right.